To his friend Lupecus, I am sending you the speech which you have often requested and which I have often promised, but as yet not all of it, for a section of it is still being polished. In the meantime, it is not unreasonable to submit to your judgment the parts which I think have gained the final touch. I beg you to lend them the close scrutiny of a written report, for up to this time I have never had any work on hand which demanded the application of greater care, whereas in my other speeches my diligence and honesty alone were subject to the assessment of the world at large. In this case, my patriotism will be before them as well. For this reason, the written fiction has expanded in my pleasure at enhancing and installing my native soil, and no less in ministering to its protection and fame. But you must prune these passages insofar as reason demands, for whenever I contemplate what readers dislike and what they favor, I realize that I must win their approval by applying restraint to the text as well. But at the same time, at the same time as I demand this stringency from you, I am I am forced to break a difference favor, namely that you relax your severity in a number of places, for I must offer some concessions to the ears of young people, especially if the subject matter does not militate against it. So, for example, it is right that description of places, which will appear quite often in this written version, should be treated in the manner not only of the historian but also of the poet. But if some person suffers who thinks that I have treated the theme much more exuberantly than the series of a speech demands, his gloom, so to speak, must be lifted by the other sections of the speech. I have at any rate tried to sustain the interest of classes of readers, however different, through applying several types of utterance, and in spite of my fear that one section or another may meet with the disapproval of some by virtue of their individual temperaments, it still seems possible for me to have confidence that the very nature of the speech might recommend itself as a whole to everyone. Take the example of banquets. Though as individuals we refrain from trying some dishes, we want and usually heap praise in the whole dinner. Those foods which our appetite rejects do not banish the attention of those which take our fancy. I would like what I send to be regarded as expressing not my belief that I have been successful, but rather that I have tried hard to be successful, and perhaps not in vain, if only in the meantime you run careful eye over these sections, and later over those that follow. You will claim that you cannot achieve this with sufficient care unless you first acquaint yourself with the whole speech. That I grant. However, for the moment these parts will become more familiar to you, and some of them will be such as can be improved section by section. Take, for example, the head of some limb which has been broken for of statue. You could not infer from it the symmetry and uniformity of the whole, but you could assess whether the fragment itself was sufficiently artistic. Some books likewise contain initial pages and are circulated for no reason other than that some section is considered perfect even apart from the rest. The pleasurable experience of conversing with you has carried me along too far, but I will finish now, so as to avoid going beyond the limit which I think should be imposed on the speech as well. Farewell.